Hi, I'm back for Altenew and I have another Take Two with Therese video, and today I have a stamp focus using this new set called Simply the Best. This is a really fun set and the size of the flower is the thing that really drew me to this set, and the fact that the dies for this set can actually be used in a couple of different ways, and I'll show you shortly what I mean. I haven't got any colouring to share with you today. Today is all about stamping, and I'm adding some sort of design element using the rock, it's called the Essential Rock Collection paper pack, and this is a set of really kind of graphic designs. It's a 6x6 paper pack and it's a lot of the different greys. So I've chosen a couple of those different colours here, and I'm stamping out the second and the third layer. So I haven't actually used the very base layer of this stamp, that's the solid image. And I'm stamping out the center portion again because I want to use the coordinating die cuts here to die cut these layers out, including the yellow center. There is the center of the flower is actually included as one of the dies, and I thought it'd be fun to have that bright pop of yellow on the grey. So I actually die cut one of the large flowers, but just in plain black because I wanted to pop this flower up off the page. So I'm just using some liquid glue to adhere that, and that's just going to make it a really solid base for me to pop up the front off the front of a card. And for the petals on this second layer here, I did add just some little square foam sticky squares just so that they sort of sat up off the flower, and added some liquid glue to the center so that that actually stuck down, so it did give this flower quite a bit of dimension. Now you'll see I did have another portion cut out there. I was going to use that as black leaves, but I instead decided to go for the tuxedo washi tape, and I'm sticking this directly to the front of my top fold card, just down it's a side, I'm lying, it's a side fold card, and I'm adding the washi down the side portion and wrapping it around the back. And initially I did like the dark black leaf that I was going to add, but I thought this looked a lot better, and it's been a little while since I've used this washi tape and I really like it. I just think it's a real elegant design and gives a real bold statement. So I've been hoarding it and I just need to use it more. So I folded it around the back and then just created a rough edge just for something different. And I want to cut these edges off here, and I just deactivated the adhesive by using my powder tool so that I could cut it away with my scissors without any problems. I'm using my Misty here to stamp out the sentiment, and this is from the Wavy Roses stamp set. Has a really good combination of fonts in the sentiments here, and this one fitted perfectly. I did stamp it a couple of times. I didn't press properly the first time. I think it's because my card base is the 110 pound. It's quite heavy. I'm adding some black fun foam to the back of my flower because I do, like I said, I want to pop it up off the front of the card, and I've used some more liquid adhesive and the 1/2 inch tape. It's the Be Creative tape, just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. And I did offset because when I stamp out the second layer of the flower, it has that black petals showing, and I didn't want them to be totally hidden, so I'd actually offset that top layer and added some of the Rock Collection enamel dots. And I move these things around for hours. And you know what? Generally when I first put them down, they look fine. But then I look at it and I second guess myself, and I come back, I do it again. And when I decide exactly where I want them, I do use some liquid adhesive to make sure they're not going to go anywhere and I can't change my mind. My second card design today is using pretty much the same products. This time I'm working on some velvet cardstock and just using the top layer of the flower here. I've got some embossing ink and I'm embossing this with some white embossing powder And I do this 3 times, so I've got 3 different flowers. What I like about this set is what I was saying, the dies come in layers. So what you can do is actually use as many layers and create your own flowers. I was kind of thinking it would be great to actually layer up a lot of these in one, especially if you use some thinner cardstock. But today what I wanted to do was actually create almost like a 3D background and only using the top layer of the die. So this in itself has become a flower. I don't actually need the base of the flowers, so it's a little bit of a versatile set in that regard. You can either use just the one layer or add as many as you want. It's very clever. This sentiment here, I'm heat embossing on some jet black cardstock, is actually from the Simply the Best stamp set, and it has some really great sentiments in it as well, and a real modern sort of font style. And I must apologise for my photos of this card in advance. I could not get the red to show in its true colour. The actual velvet cardstock from Altenew isn't quite as red as my photos show. It's a deeper sort of rich colour. It's a really pretty colour. It's the red. They've got a couple of different reds, but this is the one I always go for. But my photos made it look a little bit of that orangey style red, but it's not. It's a more true to these colours that you're seeing here in this picture. So I've popped up all my elements. Well, I'm in the process of popping up all my elements. I just want these flowers scattered across the card, and initially I was going to put the hello in the centre up near the top, but when I started laying down all these flowers, I obviously arranged it differently to what I originally did, and ended up actually adding the sentiment in the top right hand corner, which looked better to me. I did cut off all the edges of the flowers here just to make it look more like a graphic pattern, is what I was envisaging. Oh, I'm struggling. I'm not even going to say it. What I was looking for. And I did add some more design paper in behind from that same rock collection paper pack. So I'll link everything at the blog, and the description below is where you'll be able to find the link to that. Don't forget to like this video if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't already. There's always heaps of inspiration here. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.